So, hello everyone, I am Kamlesh Sonej. Today's date is 23rd of July 2021. Okay, so our today's video topic is methods in multi-threading. Okay, to understand that what are the methods in multi-threading, firstly we will see that what is multi-threading. Okay, so in multi-threading, we are using the number of threads to execute the operations in JVM. Okay, like whatever the set of operations or set of statements we are having. Okay, so we can execute that set of statements by using the multiple threads. Okay, so the multiple threads will be executing the set of statements, okay, differently. Okay, so that we can reduce the time complexity and we can increase the speed of execution, okay, by introducing the multiple threads to execute the number of operations at the same time. Okay, so to understand that multi-threading, we will see that what is thread. Okay, so thread is something which executes the set of statements one by one sequentially. Okay, like one thread is executing one statement at a time. Okay, and after that it will be executing the second statement. Okay, so it will sequentially execute the set of statements one by one. Okay, so this type of work is done by one thread. Okay, so whenever we are using the multi-threading, okay, so the number of threads are working at the same time to execute this set of statements. Okay, so by using the multi-threading we can reduce the time complexity and we can increase the speed of our execution. Okay, so that is what the multi-threading is. Okay, now we will understand what are the methods in multi-threading. Okay, so uh, firstly we will see that how we create any thread. Okay, so to create any thread we create the class for that particular thread. Okay, and then extends the thread class inside that. Okay, so we can get all the we can invoke all the properties from the thread class to our whatever thread we are making. Okay, so in the thread class, okay, like whatever the new thread we are wanted to create. Okay, so in that class we extends the thread class. Okay, so we get all the properties from the thread class. Okay, now inside that thread class, okay, we will create or we will override the run method. Okay, and inside that run method we will write uh, whatever the operations to be done by that thread. Okay, so whenever we write any set of statements inside that run method, so that will be executed by that thread. Okay, particular thread. Okay, so this is how we create any thread. Okay, by creating object of that particular class inside the main class and to start that thread. Okay, so this is how we create thread and we this is how we start that particular thread. Okay, so now we will see that what are the methods in multi-threading. Okay, like in thread class. Okay, so the first method is start. Okay, so whenever we call the start method, okay, so it will start the execution of that particular thread. It will start that thread. Okay, like whenever we call the start method, so it will automatically execute the run method inside the whatever the thread we have created. Okay, so inside that class it will execute the run method. Okay, so inside the run method we have written whatever the set of statements we want to execute by a particular thread. Okay, so whenever we call the start method from the thread, okay, so particular thread, so it will start the execution of that thread. Okay, so this is what the start method is. Okay, now we will see the second method. Okay, the second method is run method. Okay, so a run method is being provided in thread class. Okay, so whenever we override the run method in our thread, okay, whatever the thread we have created, so inside that run method we have to write whatever the set of statements we want to execute. Okay, so whenever we are going to start that particular thread, then it will be surely going to execute the run method. Okay, so the run method is called when we are starting that particular thread. Okay, so the run method is the set of statements that we want to execute by using particular thread. Okay, that we have created. Okay, so this is what the run method is. Okay, now we will see that what is the next method. Okay, that is sleep method. Okay, so in sleep method we have to give the parameter to that sleep method in milliseconds. Okay, for what time, what milliseconds we want to sleep that particular thread. Okay, so whenever we are calling a sleep method, okay, so the thread will sleep for that particular seconds, okay, milliseconds. Okay, so whatever we provide any parameter to that thread in milliseconds, okay, so that particular thread will be going to sleep for that particular time. Okay, so it will not be it will not execute any work between that time, okay, because it is going to be sleep for that particular time. Okay, so the sleep method is a checked exception by JVM. Okay, so because that if any thread is going to be sleep, okay, for a particular time, it may be happen that that thread may be slept for a long time. Okay, so it will interrupt the execution. Okay, it may interrupt the execution. Okay, for that the JVM has checked the exceptions, and that particular method, which is sleep method, is a checked exceptions. Okay, so whenever we are calling the checked that particular sleep method, then we have to use the try catch over there. Okay, try catch block. Okay, so that we can handle that exception. Okay, and the second way to use that sleep method without using the try catch is we can provide the throws exception keyword over the method. Okay, so whenever we call that method, so it will throws an exception, so it will ignore that exception. Okay, checked exceptions. Okay, so that is what the sleep method is. Okay, so it is going to sleep for that particular milliseconds of time. Okay, then the another method is join method. Okay, so whenever we are calling the join method, okay, so it will wait for the particular before whenever we are using before any thread. Okay, so it will be wait to tie that thread. Okay, so whenever we are calling the join method, so it will wait till the first thread is died. Okay, so it waits for the first thread to die and then to start the execution of our main thread or whatever the another thread. Okay, like we will take an example to understand that betterly. Okay, like we have the main thread in main method. Okay, and we have created the two threads, okay, like t1 and t2. Okay, and we have started the t1 thread. Okay, t1 dot start, and after that we have called the join method. Okay, for t2 to start. Okay, like t1 dot start, then join. Okay, join method, and then t2 dot start. Okay, so in this case the t2 thread, okay, to start, it will wait for the t1 thread to die. Okay, like whenever the t1 thread will execute its all the set of statements and it will die, at that time the t2 thread will start. Okay, so it will wait for the first thread to die and then to start its execution. Okay, so this is how the join method works. Okay, now we will see the next method, which is current thread. Okay, so current thread is returning the reference to the currently executing thread object. Okay, so it will return the object of currently executing thread. Okay, so a reference of an object. Okay, so the current thread will return the reference of an object of currently executing thread. Okay, so this is what the current thread is. Okay, now we will see that set priority and get priority methods. Okay, to understand the priority, firstly we will see that what is priority. Okay, so whenever we are creating a multi-threading, okay, whenever we are using the multi-threading, okay, so we are using that multiple threads in JVM. Okay, so that JVM will pass that thread to the operating system. Okay, so operating system executes the thread one by one. Okay, like it will give some time for first thread, then some time for second thread, some time for third thread. Okay, so in that way the operating system will be executing the threads. Okay, like it will be done by the uh, thread scheduler of an operating system, that which thread to give the most priority and which thread to give the least priority, and whatever the sequence that we need to execute. Okay, so that will be done by the thread scheduler of an operating system. Okay, so the operating system will don't know that what is the priority, what is the most priority, and what is the least priority of particular threads. Okay, because all the threads are same for that operating system. Okay, so whenever we are providing the priority for our threads in JVM, like which thread is at most priority and which thread is at lowest priority. Okay, so whenever we are passing that priority to the operating system, then operating system will going to know that which thread is of at most priority and which thread is of least priority. Okay, so that is what we are setting by using the set priority method. Okay, so the priorities are of three types, like most priority, medium priority, and least priority. Okay, so the value for the least priority is 1. Okay, so value for the medium priority is 5, and value for the at most priority is 10. Okay, so whenever we are setting the priority to the 10, that means that thread is at most priority. Okay, at whenever we are setting it for 5, so it is medium priority, and 1 is for least priority. Okay, so this is how we can set the priority by calling the set priority method. Okay, now get priority. Okay, by calling that method get priority, we can get what is the priority of that particular thread is. Okay, so this was about the set priority and get priority methods. Okay, now the another method is get name. Okay, so whenever we call the get name method, so it will give the name in a string by returning the string of particular thread. Okay, so it will return the name of that thread. Okay, so that is get name. And set name, in by calling this set name, we can change or we can set the name for particular threads. Okay, now the get id. Okay, so whenever we call the get id method, so it will return the long variable that will be returning the id for that uh, particular thread. Okay, so get id means it will return the id for that particular thread in long variable. Okay, now the another method which is important, which is yield method. Okay, so yield means whenever we are calling the yield method, okay, for particular thread, so it will be assumed that, so to hold the execution of particular thread for some time and allow the other threads to perform its execution. Okay, so it tells to operating system that my work is not more important. Okay, because to hold that execution, okay, for some time, and to allow the other thread to execute its like its execution. Okay, so that is what the yield method is. Okay, like whenever we are having the number of threads, okay, like let's say t1, t2, t3. Okay, and if t2 is saying that is calling the method yield. Okay, whenever t2 is calling the yield method, so t2 is allowing other threads like t1 and t3 to execute or to complete its works, okay, for some time. Okay, so the t2 will be uh, will be like hold for some time. Okay, and after that it will be executed. Okay, so that is what the yield method is. Okay, now the method is alive. Okay, so is alive method, whenever we are calling is alive method, so it will be returning us the boolean, that is true or false. Like whenever the method is whenever the thread is alive, okay, like it will be executing its work, so at that time it will return the true. And whenever the thread is died, so it will returning the false value. Okay, so that is what the is alive method is. Okay, now the methods suspend, destroy, stop, and resume. Okay, like whenever so suspend method suspends the execution of particular thread. Okay, then stop method stops the execution of particular thread, and resume method can resume the particular execution of particular thread. Okay, so that are what the suspend, then stop, and resume methods are. Okay, now the next method is daemon and set daemon. Okay, so daemon is a thread which works in background. Okay, like it is having the less priority. Like whenever we are having multiple threads, so the daemon thread will be having the less priority than other threads. Okay, so that is what the daemon thread is. Okay, so daemon thread is working in background. Like if we take an example, if we are having the word, okay, like word application, so in that we are typing something, then at the same time it is checking the spellings of particular threads, particular words whatever we are typing. Okay, so in this case the typing is at most priority, like whatever we are typing at keyboard, so it will be displayed on the monitor. Okay, it will be displayed on the screen. Okay, so that is at the most priority, and to check the spellings of that particular words, it has the low priority. Okay, so the spell checker is a daemon thread. Okay, like it will be work in background, so that is what the daemon thread is. Okay, so whenever we are calling the set daemon thread, okay, so we have to pass the parameter that true or false. Okay, whenever we pass the true, then it will become the daemon thread, and whenever we pass the false, then it will not be daemon thread. Okay, so that is what the set daemon method is. And is daemon method returns the boolean value true or false of that particular thread. Okay, so that is what the is daemon and set daemon threads methods are. Okay, now we will see the last method, that is toString method. Okay, so whenever we call the toString method of particular thread, so it will return the string value of it will return the string to us. Okay, so in that string we will get the name of that particular thread, then priority of that thread, and the thread group of that particular thread. Okay, so whenever we are calling the toString method, so it will return the name of the thread, priority of the thread, and the thread group of particular thread. Okay, so that was the toString method. Okay, so this was all the methods we can use in multi-threading. Okay, so I hope you guys have understood these things. Okay, so thank you so much for watching.